message says the content of this meeting is being sent to a third party. Is that the same as recording?
Well, yeah, because it's going on YouTube from Zoom instead of being recorded by Zoom.
Okay.
Okay.
Message says the content of this meeting is.
Okay, good. We're live. Perfect. Okay, thank you. So, you guys can always go get it at MacNexus, and Al, our link master, does such a great job with this. Well, when Bob sends out the info, there'll be all the links from what goes on tonight. And tonight it'll be about AI. I'm only going to touch on it briefly, but then not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday, I'm going to I'm going to do a deeper dive into AI and do some specific examples. And it was ironic because when I was looking at this, it was exactly 1 year ago tonight that I did the presentation on AI. And boy, in that year's time, I went and looked through the stuff. It has changed dramatically. So, no other volunteer or member announcements. Al, if you would like to give your wonderful keynote and links, and I'm going to turn my video off in a second because I have to get some cough drops. So, I'll make sure you get up live here. I already co-hosted you.
Hey, can everyone see this?
I'm sorry?
Are we good?
Yeah, go for it.
Uh, can you
I
see
don't
this?
see anything.
Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Okay,
And
I'll share.
there we got we had your blue background.
Do this again here. Okay. I got to do this stuff in a certain sequence. It's so darn finicky. Okay, here we
So
go.
on monitor 34.
Okay. Sure.
34A. We can see you picture in picture, and I see your.
How's that?
There you go. Perfect.
All righty. Hope everyone had a pleasant St. Patrick's Day. Welcome to the Apple Tech News segment here. The month of March has been filled with some controversy and some new hardware releases. First up, on March 4th, Apple introduced a new iPad Air. Here's some of the features. The new iPad Air is equipped with the M3 chip, delivering nearly twice the performance of the previous M1 model. This enhancement significantly boosts tasks like content creation and for gaming. It comes with advanced graphics that includes hardware accelerated ray tracing and mesh shading, ideal for demanding graphics intensive tasks. All of this great to enhance the gaming experience. There's support for Apple Intelligence, and a little bit more about that later. For example, in Photos, the cleanup tool makes it easy to remove distracting elements and images, and the natural language search allows users to search for just about any photo or video by simply describing what they're looking for. As far as the display options, for the first time, the iPad Air is available in two sizes. There's an 11-inch model for portability and a 13-inch model providing a larger display area for enhanced productivity. It comes with Apple Pencil compatibility, supporting the Apple Pencil Pro and the Apple Pencil USB-C version for drawing and note-taking tasks. There's a new Magic Keyboard designed to, designed for this version of the iPad Air. The new Magic Keyboard enhances versatility, functionality at a new accessible price point. The larger built-in trackpad brings a greater precision for detail-oriented tasks, and a new 14-key function row allows easy access to features like screen brightness and volume controls. The new Magic Keyboard attaches magnetically, and the smart connector immediately connects power and data without the need for Bluetooth. It has a machined aluminum hinge, also includes a USB-C connector for charging. The price points begin at $269 for the 11-inch model and $319 for the 13-inch model. The new Magic Keyboard for the Air, iPad Air features a floating design and actually comes in white. The iPad Air runs the latest iPad OS 18. The target users for this will be students, and professionals, and creatives. Starts at $599 for the 11-inch model and $799 for the 13-inch model. This is a really great value for price and performance. On Wednesday, March 5th, Apple released the new
Actually, Al, isn't it the lowest end iPad doesn't do, is it an M chip?
I think they're all M versions now. I don't think
Okay.
this is the I think we've crossed that point. On Wednesday, March 5th, Apple released a new M4 MacBook Air. Here's some of the highlights.
Doesn't the Mini still have the 8 chip?
No, the Mini has the M4 now. I was mistaken. It's the SE phone that doesn't have
Yeah,
an
Okay.
M chip. Was my mistake.
the Mini 7 has what is the it's the lowest end that can run Apple Intelligence.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. When I thought you were talking about the Mac Mini. No, yeah, the Mini 7 does have Apple Intelligence.
Yeah,
Well, such as it is,
yeah.
which we'll talk about later.
Yeah. The M4 MacBook Air comes with a M4 chip, of course, which offers 20% faster performance than the M3 chip and up to 2 times faster than the original M1. As you see, M4 series chips can also be found in several other Macs, like the MacBook Pro, the iMac, the Mac Mini, and Mac Studio. Only the Mac Pro still on M2 series chip with the M2 Ultra is the only one that hasn't moved forward. And I would assume that Apple may be releasing something later on in the year for that ultra high end. We'll see. The new MacBook Air comes in a new sky blue color. It has a metallic light blue finish, replacing the original space gray option. It features a new 12 megapixel center stage camera for better video calls and desk view functionality. The desk view simultaneously displays the user and a top-down view of your desk for making video calls when even more engaging for those who want to show off their latest DIY project or present a prototype or something. It comes with enhanced display support, the ability to drive up to 2 6K external displays alongside the built-in display. It provides up to 18 hours of battery life, and it comes with a Touch ID and the Magic Keyboard. Features Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.3. It includes MagSafe charging and 2 Thunderbolt ports, along with a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. There's also support for the spatial audio along with Dolby Atmos. Starts at $999 for the 13.6-inch model and $11.99 for the 15.3-inch model, with educational discounts available. They've been shipping since March 12th, if you're in the market. On Wednesday, March 5th, Apple released the updated Mac Studio. I'll go through this quickly because it's kind of overkill for most of us in this group. At the heart of this beast is the chip options. It features the M4 Max or the M3 Ultra, offering significant performance improvements. The new Mac Studio with M4 Max is the perfect choice for video editors, colorists, developers, engineers, photographers, creative pros, and others who need to blaze through intensive workflows. The Mac Studio with the M4 Max can run on-device AI models incredibly fast. M4 Max specs includes up to 16-core CPU, a 40-core GPU, and up to 128 gigabytes of unified memory. The M3 Ultra specs combines 2 M3 Max chips, providing up to 32-core CPU and 80-core GPU. If you're interested in more of the nerdy specs of its computational prowess, see the link at the bottom of the screen. They go into quite a bit of detail. As far as storage options, it ranges from a low of 512 gigabyte to the max of 16 terabyte, depending on your configuration. Connectivity, it offers 4 Thunderbolt 5 ports, 2 USB-A ports, an HDMI 2.1, 10 gigabyte Ethernet, and a headphone jack. The front ports includes 2 USB-C or Thunderbolt 5 ports, depending on the chip, and an SDXC card slot. As far as display support, it can power up to 8 6K displays or 4 8K displays with the M3 Ultra. The wireless features, it supports Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.3. Starting prices, a mere $19.99 for the M4 Max and $39.99 for the M3 Ultra. And you can max this thing out with quite it's pretty powerful. On Friday, March 7th, longtime tech journalist John Gruber from Daring Fireball got a statement from Apple spokeswoman Jacqueline Roy. Apple announced a delay in the rollout of the advanced personalized Siri features initially introduced under the Apple Intelligence Initiative at WWDC 2024. These enhancements were designed to make Siri more context aware and capable of performing tasks across various apps by understanding personal information stored on the devices. The Apple spokeswoman stated that delivering these features is taking longer than anticipated and an anticipated release, quote, in the coming year. This postponement has raised some concerns about Apple's competitiveness in the rapidly evolving AI industry. 5 days later, on March 12th, John Gruber penned an angry, unflattering assessment of the current state of Apple Intelligence and the roadmap ahead. He called it something rotten in state of Cupertino. He expressed disappointment over Apple's deviation from its tradition of announcing only market-ready products, suggesting this misstep could harm the company's credibility. Additionally, internal challenges have surfaced, with reports indicating that Apple's Siri development team has faced conflicting priorities and quality issues, leading to frustration and delays in the feature implementation. The John Gruber post was picked up by an assortment of other news outlets and was discussed in quite a few podcasts. As part of the fallout from the situation, Apple's restructured its executive team, appointing Mike Rockwell, formerly head of the Vision Products Group, to oversee Siri development. The change follows CEO Tim Cook's, I got to go back there. Sorry about that. Tim, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, the change follows CEO Tim Cook's loss of confidence in John Giandrea's ability to advance Siri's product development, and Rockwell will report to software chief Craig Federighi, while Giandreas will continue to oversee broader AI research and development. This is the guy here who's he's the father of the Apple headset. Apparently a pretty sharp guy and someone a real process guy. He knows how to ship products. Apple continues to face fallout from its decision to delay the more personalized Siri that it first announced last summer as part of Apple Intelligence. Axios reports that Apple is facing a federal lawsuit alleging that its, quote, promotion of now delayed Apple Intelligence features constituted false advertising and unfair competition. This from the rumor mill and from Mark Gurman of Bloomberg News. Over the past couple of years, we've seen an influx of AI wearables hit the market. They range from the failed humane AI pin to Meta Platforms Inc.'s popular smart glasses, the Ray-Ban looking glasses. Apple's exploring the idea of adding cameras and visual intelligence to features to its smartwatch, thrusting the company into the AI wearables market. Central idea behind these devices is using onboard cameras and microphones to support artificial intelligence and provide context on a wearer's surroundings. With the iPhone 16 launch last year, Apple started to inch into this territory. The new visual intelligence features which is tied to camera control interface, relies on AI to help users learn about the world around them. The projected rollout timeline, the camera-equipped AirPods and Apple Watches, they're expected circa 2027, along with hopefully improved AI capabilities. And finally tonight, continue with another Mark Gurman rumor. Apple Inc. is planning a new AirPods feature that allows earbuds to live translate an in-person conversation into another language, according to people familiar with the topic. The capability will be offered as part of an AirPods software upgrade due later this year. It'll be tied to iOS 18, the coming update that we'll see in the fall. Rival earbuds such as Google Pixel Buds have had the option for quite a while, and Apple's offered its in-house Translate app on the iPhone since 2020. Still, the move promises to bring a kind of a Star Trek-like experience to AirPod users. The capability will work like this. If an English speaker is hearing someone talk in Spanish, for instance, the iPhone will translate the speech and relay it to the user's AirPods in English. The English speaker's words, meanwhile, will be translated into Spanish and played back by the iPhone. This will come in pretty handy if you're doing some traveling. And this came yesterday. Apple announced it will host its annual Worldwide Developers Conference, WWDC, online from June 9th to the 13th. Developers and students will also have the opportunity to celebrate in person during a special event at Apple Park on June 9th. Perhaps we can get some clarity on this AI and Siri going forward. So mark your calendars. All the links generated tonight and more will be distributed in a PDF by Bob White in his normal MacNexus email blast. I will post it sooner on our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is a great forum for late-breaking curated Apple tech news and support. We encourage everyone to come visit us. Back to you, Ken.
Thanks very much, Al. Everybody give a big clapping hands for Al on that, because that's great information. And the best part is, oh gosh, I love that picture of your monitor set up there that you had. It's all the links to all this stuff, which is, that is so valuable.
Yeah,
I
things.
have a question
Yeah, go ahead, Joan.
for Al. Yeah, I want to know if you've tried out the new earbuds. I know you have hearing aids, and they're supposed to have made some that are good. And so I have hearing aids too, and I wondered if you'd tried them out and how they worked.
I have a couple of sets of earbuds, and I have to say I haven't tried them out. The original classic versions, for me, I'm part of that small segment of the population that they don't fit comfortably for any significant period of time. And so, since typically your hearing needs are all day long, I find that my hearing aids, they're a bit more comfortable fit. They're smaller, they're in ear. They don't give me quite the frequency response that some of the earbuds do, because they're geared to play back music and stuff as well. So I can't say that I've tried it, and I know because because the fit issue for me, it's probably not anything that I would use them for. But for small, if you get in a pinch and you have them around and you happen to need them, I can't tell you that the live listen function on it's pretty impressive. Be able to use your phone and If you have a problem hearing in a loud place at a table or something and it's noisy, you can put your phone in a live listen mode and put it on the table, and they can shoot it right into your ears. Yeah, that works pretty well.
Well,
Uh,
Al, you have that on your regular hearing aids, right?
yeah, yeah. If you have
Yeah.
if you're able to pair them, with the other,
Well, they have to be an what's called MFI, made for iPhone
yeah,
hearing aids to have that.
yeah,
A little bit more on the AirPods Pro like that. It's you got to remember too that the battery life on it is about 5 hours, and then you can put it back in the case and charge it, and in 30 minutes it'll get a full charge. But or you also have the option of using one at a time, and you can get 24 hours worth of listen if you do that, because you put it in the one ear and then you do it. But the hearing aid part, it's also the way that it kind of cuts out the it just isn't that comfortable in your ear for that long a time. So it but one thing you can do with it that's really neat, um, if you have the AirPods Pro 2, which are the ones that have the USB-C charging port for them, uh, it will do an ear test for you, and that's really amazing. And it came out almost exactly what my Costco hearing test was. And that, you should test your hearing once a year because it's cumulative and it gets worse. So great job, Al. Anybody else? Any other questions up to this point? Okay,
right.
let's move along to, I'm going to pull up my keynote and share it. Okay. So we've gone through you know what? We didn't do tech Q&A. So right now, is there any tech questions anybody has? And if not, we can address them later. I think we kind of did it in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So let's talk about Apple Intelligence, and Mark, John, that he
Uber.
quoted is, he's, after the WWDC, he gets two Apple VPs. I mean, that guy is very well connected with Apple, and he's an Apple fanboy, but he's called Apple out on this. And what it is Apple's, quote, Apple Intelligence, their version of artificial intelligence, which will help make Siri better and everything else. Apple didn't kind of develop their own. What they did is they're piggybacking on OpenAI's Chat GPT. There are indications they may change other places, because when we talk about AI, it's to make AI process all this information, and it's not the millions of inquiries it gets; it's processing the data out there. Just to give you a for instance, because I know this more than I know the other AI. Excuse me. So AI, it's called large language modules, and they basically are taking all the information there is out there everywhere in the world, and not only are they cataloging it, they're interpreting it and adjusting it. So one of the examples I can give you is what I know they've done on full self-driving. So it used to be where a computer programmer would put in code in full self-driving and say, if you see a hexagonal red sign that has the word STOP in it, you need to apply the brakes. And then let's say that it's a bent sign that got hit by a truck and it no longer looks like an octagon. It needs to learn that that's a stop sign. And that's all done with what's called machine learning. And that's where the machine learning comes in. It's taking this stuff, interpreting it, and the amazing thing is I mean, if you've ever tried to email a video file, you know that it's too big to email. This computer is having to digest what 8 cameras are seeing and then interpret it and then make decisions. Now, that's not in real time. What I'm saying is it's building the model. So in the past, it would be, oh, well, this person disconnected, and therefore it was because the sign was bent, or it might be a little twisted. It may not look exactly like it. So those are edge cases, and it has to get into all that. Well, previous 2 years ago, that was written into the code, and there was 300,000 lines of code that's in the car that says, if you approach an octagonal sign that's red, what do you do? Well, the real breakthrough they've had in self-driving is because of artificial intelligence. And what that's done is, first of all, the information that so Tesla, for instance, is gathering over 2 million miles a day of information anonymously from the 1.7 million Teslas on the road that have cameras. And if you do an intervention, it'll report that and it sends your video clip in and it analyzes it. And it says, well, why did that person disengage at this time? And so they brought it back, and with AI, this was the huge breakthrough, is AI doesn't say, okay, when there's a red octagonal sign, press on the brake pedal. What it did is, when you're driving a car, for your mobility, you have 3 things that you can do. You can press the accelerator, you can press the brake, and you can turn the steering wheel. Those are the 3 functions that every car can do. Now, obviously, shifting gears and going backwards is a little bit of an edge where well, like the electric cars don't need to shift gears, but if you need to go into reverse or something like that, parking is a whole nother thing. But what they did is they changed it with artificial intelligence, and they said, if you're approaching a red octagonal sign that looks something like this or all these others, what did the driver do? And they weren't looking at drivers, but what they were doing is the computer is saying, oh, 99.8% of drivers applied a brake pedal from this far away, and that brought them up to the stop sign. And so that artificial intelligence was the real breakthrough, because then they can train the artificial intelligence, training the large language modules or the things that, I mean, you've seen, I mean, it's terrible now. If you go on the internet and you're on Facebook, and it's really neat, I've been caught on a couple of them. I always try to look for places where I want to go travel to. And they have this cool road and a river in Utah. And and it's all AI generated and it doesn't exist. And it's so good that it's so good you don't know what's real and what isn't. And it's like the old thing, it's called the Turing test, to tell if something's a computer or a human, and it's really drifting now. Well, Apple's intelligence, Apple is trying to operate with their hands tied behind their backs, because Apple is your privacy and your security are foremost things for them. So they don't want you to pass your information out over the internet, where if you were asking about, let's say, a medical malady that you're having or something, I mean, that's kind of private to most people. So it's like, you don't want other people knowing that you're asking those questions. So what Apple embarked on is to keep it on board, and you will it'll do all of the processes inside this very powerful chip that's the 15 Pro phones, or any of the M series chips, or any of the new 16 phones. They're so powerful that they do this processing in there. And it's really apparent in photos, because you can go into photos, and if you have a photo of a flower, it will tell you what that flower is. And it's just incredible. But what Apple Intelligence does is it says, if I can't give you a solution, do you want me to reach out to the internet? And they use primarily right now, they use Chat GPT. So that was one of the original ones. It's from OpenAI. OpenAI was originally founded as a nonprofit. Elon Musk gave the money to start OpenAI as a nonprofit because he wanted everybody to share in it. And then they started going, and OpenAI now has become a for-profit. We don't know how that really happened. And he backed away because that wasn't what it was designed to do. It was designed to be for everybody. Anyway, OpenAI was the early leader with ChatGPT 2, then 3, and I don't even know what number it's up to now. But it's very good. It is somewhat free and somewhat pay, and that's the thing. There's a lot of different ones. I'm going to go and get it on the list here in a second. But basically, Apple is leveraging ChatGPT because the amount of computers needed to do AI is huge. And believe it or not, one of the big stumbling blocks on building more AI is the having enough electrical power to run these huge data centers, because they are crunching numbers so prolifically that it really, I mean, and where they locate them is a big deal. Then they have to have special, it's just amazing. Many of them are starting to do battery backups and things like that, but the power consumption is phenomenal. And what's amazing is these little computers. So what they are is they're a bunch of smaller computers that are all linked together. They're in these clusters, and they all talk back and forth and stuff. And these are super efficient computers. I mean, look at the one chip you have in your iPhone, and it's super powerful, and it uses very little battery, and it doesn't need a fan. And so, and these things, I mean, they're just amazing. So that's the big stumbling block. And AI, of course, everybody's trying to get AI, but it's a huge, huge investment to invest in these. And so I think Apple did the right tack to offload it to somebody else, because the problem I have with Apple, or the problem with Apple, is there are only so many engineers that can go around. Now, AI engineers are different than others and things like that, but Apple, what drives the bus, so to speak, at Apple is the iPhone. About 50% of the income or more comes from the iPhone. And so Apple has, as being such a large company, they have the ability to spend money on engineers, but the problem is getting enough good engineers. So they make sure their best engineers are on the iPhone, because the iPhone is the most important product that Apple offers. So that's why we see all the good stuff happening there. But then they would have had to really split their efforts if they went to AI. And so I think it was wise, but it makes it slow. But Apple's kind of always been that way. They don't do it first, but they end up doing it best. And again, they've hamstrung themselves with this privacy issue. And I think it's good. And in fact, even though it uses ChatGPT, it is completely sequestered within Apple. And in fact, your information does not go out and available to anyone else. It stays stays at home, so to speak, even when it runs out to use Chat GPT. So Apple Intelligence, what we want to look forward to, and it'll take a while, but obviously they're trying to make some changes on it. And it's more than just trying to tell you what the best best apple pie recipe is. It'll be doing things on your phone. You'll simply be able to tell it what you want a setting to do. Turn my screenshot to this. Fire up the iPhone in the 2x mode and turn the flash off. Things like that. So the control of the iPhone and all the processes will be very, very good. We have to give it some time. In the meantime, there's a lot of other chat stuff out there. So I used artificial intelligence. I asked it the question, what are the most popular in order by usage? And it's interesting because the one I use and the one that's the most popular isn't even listed here. And the reason is there's no way to really quantify this because it's not like you can base it on dollars or anything else. But and each and each one has a different forte. For instance, Chat GPT is really, really, really good about the large language model, doing what you want, and it's huge. And with AI, when I do the long presentation, I'm going to give you a primer of how AI started and how it really works. But tonight, I just wanted to kind of get you going and showing you, if you're not using it, how to use it, and then the capabilities of it, because I am blown away more and more. So Chat GPT, then Canva. Canva is more graphic based and content creation, things like that. I didn't realize this, but Google Translate is AI driven. And in fact, both the iPhone now and Google Translate will let you do a conversation back and forth on your phone. That's the thing that we just mentioned will be coming to the AirPods. DeepSeek was a flash in the pan a while ago. It's from China. Always be concerned about where your data is going, but it's not. They're their own private entity, and they actually were able. They were blown away. They were able to develop theirs for under 1/10 of the cost of what everybody else was doing. Character AI, I don't really know anything about that. Janitor AI, Perplexity, a good friend of mine uses it and swears by it. He's a doctor or a retired doctor. Google's version is, let me get hang on here, cursor up. Gemini is Google's version of it, and Gemini is pretty good, but remember, with Google, privacy is probably not, that's not their concern, so just think of it that way. The remove.bg, this is a pretty interesting one because this allows you to take power lines out of photos and different things like that. Copilot is Microsoft and GitHub together, and it's mainly for code generation. Microsoft is now part of OpenAI or ChatGPT, and they put a lot of money into that. So ChatGPT it's the generic, it's the Kleenex, it's the whatever, but ChatGPT is kind of the name for artificial intelligence, but it's also, they've been keeping up pretty well. So that being said, now this next slide, it talks about what you're doing and depending on what you want to do, because a few months ago, I told Zoom AI to make me in a boardroom in the mountains with an Apple logo. And it gave me some choices. And I mean, that is just amazing what it can do. So there's certain things that are based on, there's video, there's audio, there is just looking at pictures and making pictures, or there's just answering questions. And that's what we'll go through here in a little bit. But remember, certain ones are good for other things, like here, image and video generation. Mid-Journey, I know Pete's talked about it, and that's a really, really good one. And we're probably none of us are doing coding, education and learning. So tutoring and things like that. It's think of it this way: AI is our good old Google search on steroids. So just some notes about it. Other notable AIs, I thought this Claude is one. Oh, and Mega has one now too. But Claude, Grok is my favorite, and I'm gonna use that as my example because it's also free. I pay for a premium subscription to X.com, but you still get good things there. And that's the other thing is this is a lot of computing power. So there's and what I do, I'll give you an example. I was recently up in Bend, Oregon, by Mount Bachelor, and the lunar eclipse was there was a complete lunar eclipse at the middle of the night. So because I've have some mobility issues now, and I knew I could only walk so far, I did a search and said, where can I go near Bend, Oregon, to view the lunar eclipse and with mobility issues? And then it only gave me the spots where there wasn't a 1 mile hike and things like that. And it just narrowed it down. It gave me 6 choices. And and then I could further refine it. I could say north of town or south of town and things like that. So the beauty of you in doing these kinds of searches is it's contextual. So and Amazon Alexa, I shouldn't say that. The A devices are getting some artificial intelligence too. Now, a little aside on all this. Sometimes it gets it wrong. And it's not smart enough to tell you that it made up a story. So what happens is those are called hallucinations in the lingo of artificial intelligence. So, and this is the thing Al brought up earlier. And I'm going to go now and go to Grok and show you how it works. So you do not have to have a subscription. And if you go to x.com, you get this, okay? So x.com is the old Twitter. They have one of the largest clusters, they call it, of computers from NVIDIA. There's I think there's 10,000 of them all hooked together, and it's amazing. But if you go to Grok, so you can go to grok.com or Grok within X, or on iOS, there's a Grok app. So I'm showing you on my computer here, and if I just go to Grok, there it is. Now, and this is the simplest one to do, but I would say one thing. Grok is not image oriented. It's more it's more information than anything. There is some stuff you can do in it. You can tell it to remove certain things, but to be honest, that's one thing where Apple Intelligence is pretty darn good at removing things from photos and things like that. And you can go back. A couple months ago, I did a presentation on that, and we'll do that when we do the long one on the first Saturday of next month. But if you go in here, you just simply go to Grok. If you have an X.com account, you'll be right in there. It's free. Otherwise, they'll ask you to do some verifications and go through some stuff. So when you go down here, a deep search. So normally you would just type something in, and once you type it in, it's going to come back quickly for you. But if you want it to look into a deeper and deliver a more detailed response, you click and highlight deep search. Okay. Or you can tell it to think and it will go along and look and try even do a little bit more of what's called deep thinking. And that will, or you can just toggle it off and just ask. Now, one thing I encourage you to do, if you're already using another AI, or if you're, well, actually, I should show you first. Let's do this. So I'm in Safari, and I'm just up into the URL here at the top, and I'm going to put in, let's see, what is the best way to I'll do the one I did up there. Find, well, actually, I'm going to be doing, where is a good photography spot for the Milky Way near Bishop, CA, with little walking. So now you'll notice here at the top in Safari, and this has nothing to do, this is Google, but this doesn't matter. You don't have to have the M series chip or anything. You can see here that it's these labs, and it says this. And actually, what's interesting, this didn't do too many. Oh, I'm gonna highlight this too.
And do you want us to see your screen? Oh, we're seeing you, or at least I am. Oh,
Well,
sorry, my error, my error.
yeah, you don't want to see me, trust me. Or I should have AI fix it. So this is good. This is the search in Safari using Google, and it uses Google Gemini. So you can see here, it's generative AI, and I can save it, export it, do whatever. But then your regular search comes in down below. So the Milky Way is unique because it's going to have to get you something facing the southeast. So let's take that same thing and put it into Grok. Oh, shoot. Oh, and the good thing is, in most of these, it remembers what you've searched for previously, and you can get back to it. Okay, so I'm going to do not deep search or anything else. I'm just going to do that. And you can see it working away. It's accessing 15 different web pages. Like, for instance, I'm doing next December, I'll be in New Zealand, and I asked it to do an itinerary for me and things like that. So it really doesn't show a lot here like the other one. It's really this Owens Valley thing. But let me go back, and now I'll say, I gotta move my, I'll have it do the same thing with deep search and see what happens. And then what I'll do is I'll modify it. So it looks for dark sky locations, which is important because of the, making sure that there's not a lot of city lights and things like that. So you can see that this one takes longer because it's deep search. And obviously it takes longer. It's been 42 seconds. And it's using 66 sources. The other one used 15 web pages. So this one's going to be hopefully more extensive. Wow. And this has nothing to do with my internet speed. This is it crunching using these computers and crunching all the information and trying to come up with something for you.
And is it only in that little box? So if you want to see it all,
No. This is only while it's doing that search. And on the iPhone, it's even smaller. It'll come up just like this did. See,
oh, okay.
it'll come up in this, and then you can say thumbs up, thumbs down, and you can go here and you can copy the text. Or you can share this with something else, or even share it right into notes or something. Boy, it's doing a lot. Okay, so any questions while it's working? Oh, here we go. So here's 94 different web pages. So it came up a little different. Pleasant Valley Pit Campground. It's a good spot for Milky Way little, and see, it considered my little walking. And then this observatory, and then unexpected detail. It's popular with climbers and offers a vibrant community. Then a note, analysis of it, background Bishop. Of course, it's a dark skies area. The methodology, how it came up with what it is. And then it gives you more detail about the 2 locations it's recommending, or 3. Oh, so now here's Grandview Campground. And the other one is, if you've ever been down there, this is the Buttermilks, which is down in Alabama Hills, which is where a lot of the old black and white Westerns used to be. And then look at this. It puts this chart up, and I mean, that's just so much good information.
Ken,
Yeah.
I just posed a question to Grok. Create a tech checklist of items and apps in the Apple ecosystem for a trip to London and Paris in the month of May. And it's pretty right on about
Al,
what you should take.
why don't you go to the share in Grok and send that to me. If you look on my screen here, the little share arrow is right here.
Okay. Little up arrow. Yeah. Okay.
No, yeah, the up arrow. And just copy the link, and you can text it to me if you want,
Okay.
and I'll pull it up for everybody. So again, and then you can further refine that. You could say north of Bishop, south of Bishop. You could say, no, so now I got to give you an example here. One of the big things about Grok is, if there was something that's within the last 3 months, most AI will not tell you about it because they are constantly analyzing data, but much of it is older and they're keeping doing it. Grok pulls from the same stuff, but since Grok is part of X.com, which has a tremendous amount of stuff, I mean, I'll tell you, it's the new news source. And if you hear about something, I heard about there was a terrible shooting up in Marysville, and I heard about that, and I went into Twitter or X, and and there were already like local reports about it and things like that. So it leverages its own platform for that for more information. Okay, Al, hang on. So here's the one Al just did. Link not shared correctly.
Oh, let's see.
Why don't you go ahead and just copy and paste it?
Okay. Okay. It's a sizable list, but I'll do that.
Well,
right.
did you just send a link, or what'd you send?
Yeah, I just sent the link. I tried to hit the button and it didn't do anything.
Okay. But you can just do a quick copy and then
I'll do it. I'll
paste.
do it. Give me a second here and I'll
No problem. So anyway, but again, I think that you should probably try some different ones and see what you like. For me, the ease of use, because I can do Grok in the browser, and then I can do it on my iPhone and my iPad. And the beauty of it is my history is synced between all of them then. ChatGPT I like, the Google Gemini I like. Oh, and by the way, on the iOS apps, you can use your voice for it, and it will read it back to you. So where Al's thinking is coming through. I'll tell you, for trip planning, itinerary wise, it's amazing because you can put, like, I remember when AI first started years ago, I said, oh, that didn't come through, Al.
I know. I did my standard
Well,
copy.
why don't I unshare and you can share your screen real quick.
Okay.
You ready?
Stand by a second here. Okay, share.
See, in the future, we'll be able to say, tell AI to switch screens, blah, blah. I need to unshare first.
Oh, I'm
You
sorry.
ready?
Yeah.
There you go. Go ahead.
Okay, stop share. Here, do this again here. Share this screen.
And the nice thing is it's in text, so you can copy and paste it into other stuff. There you go.
Can you see it?
Yeah, here's a
Yes.
tech.
I
Yeah, see, that's what you sent me earlier. Where's the London one? Did you do it before or after that?
no, you,
There you
can
go.
you not see it? Yeah. I'm
No,
scrolling.
I
I
saw.
originally I posed it without asking anything in the Apple ecosystem, and then I rephrased it to just tell me, give me.
No, but your London your London thing.
Okay, here.
No, right there. Hold on. London and Paris in the month of May. So see, what happened is it came back. It was using what you'd already had in there about tech checklist.
Uh-huh. So
Was that what you were asking it?
yeah, I was asking it to generate a tech checklist tailored
Oh, okay.
Apple ecosystem for a trip to London and Paris in May. And I just wanted to see what it generated. And
Yeah.
it parallels everything that you've taught us about travel with Apple devices and other applications and SIM activation, hotspots,
Yeah, and
AirTag.
that was all before AI.
Yeah, exactly. And
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you were doing somewhat sort of itinerary.
no. This is just
That's fantastic.
this is cool. I did it. I made the same query to Microsoft Copilot, and it came up pretty parallel to this,
Yeah.
and with some excellent recommendations for apps, and it's a great way to kind of have another set of eyes on the situation to uh,
Well, yeah, and the other thing is,
wow.
you could have it generate a packing list,
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
yep,
I think, I mean, it's remember, it's what's really amazing with AI is the Google search goes out and gets everything that's already known on the internet, right? Well, the beauty of AI, it's like, I used to do in my Siri presentations, I would do speech to text dictation. And I would go through and say, yeah, do I need a jacket tonight? And it would type that. But once we invoked Siri, which gave it some artificial intelligence, it would say, oh, tonight the weather will be this, interpreting why I asked if I needed a jacket. And that's very simple. And that was the early days. Another one I remember that it would in Siri, I would say, I'm drunk. And it said, well, don't drive. Can I call you a cab? And so it's doing those interpretations. But the best thing is that AI will go, and it's actually pretty darn scary too. But it will take what we just asked it, give us results, and then try to to take I mean, info's nothing if you can't interpret it. And it's so much info and it really tries to do it. And then the beauty is, like with Apple writing tools, you can tell it to summarize. And it doesn't just make it shorter, it reads through it contextually and summarizes it to give you the key points. I remember doing a search for this one site I used all around, or Rome.io was one of the early ones. And I would say, give me, for instance, they would have you just give me an itinerary for Istanbul, and would give you 7 days. That was the default. So then I could say, make it 3 days for seniors with mobility issues. And then it takes, and it even goes, it researches, so it might find other things, and it just does it. And so think about it, it is custom tuning it for you. But remember, Grok isn't perfect on it, but it's better than the rest about current things. It's not a good idea to go in and say, what was the score of the A's preseason game in Sacramento 2 nights ago or something. So because it takes a while for that info to get in there, and that'll all improve, but don't think it for something breaking like that. It's not a breaking news thing. It'll get more and more entwined with that. But the one I'm going to leave you with before we go into questions and answers is, and I hopefully will have that in my presentation. But one of the scariest, but one of the most incredible things, and I can't put it on here because it'll have copyright issues. But the now 1-year president of Argentina, which Argentina, I thought, it's a beautiful country. I love Argentina, and they had hyperinflation, and more recently they had 200% inflation. Well, their president, Milei, right after he got elected, went to the World Economic Forum and gave a speech there. And the guy's an economist, and he's a bit aloof and everything, but he's really solid. And in Argentina, in 1 year, has done incredible. Anyway, he speaks in Spanish, and he has speaking mannerisms and everything. And he's giving his speech at the World Economic Forum. And again, this was a little over a year ago. And there's a company that did an AI thing where, and it's been backed up. They actually used the transcript. So it was not one of these, what's called deep fakes. They did this the right way. They gave his speech in English with his exact speech patterns and accents, and the video on the lips were perfect. And it was doing it not real time, but did it very, very quick afterwards. And thank goodness it was right, but it had the inflection. And the way that works is, so when I do the big one, I did this a while back. There's a site where you can go in, and I record my voice for 20 seconds. And then it plays my voice back, and I type something in, and it does it in my speaking voice with my speaking pattern, and it's only reading the text that I type in. And it's getting better all the time. And it is scary, but it's also very useful. So any
Yeah.
questions? Go ahead if anybody has any, or comments, please. Are people afraid of it?
Looking forward to using it, seeing what the limitations are.
Yeah, exactly. And it is such a moving target right now on what it can do.
Yeah,
Good,
we're
Keith.
worried about the privacy though, you know.
Okay, so don't use it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you asked, you know, whether
No, I
interested.
agree.
You know,
So,
that just is a concern.
but it is. But you know what? If you do a Google search right now, that's it. The
That's
result
scary.
isn't it. It's going out, and that's the beauty with Apple Intelligence. The more it can do inside, the more it can help you with that. But what's interesting when you talk about privacy, I had somebody a year ago when I did this to the Apple user group out here, someone asked about, Well, what happens if somebody's lying or faking and all that? I'm going like, hey, that happens in real life, you know? That AI can do the same thing. So, Keith, go right ahead.
So I wanted to suggest something to the audience that you didn't mention. Um, I do a lot of photography, and I have Adobe products of Lightroom Classic and Photoshop, and they use AI to do stuff to photos that you can't do otherwise or difficult to do otherwise, like removing a bunch of people who are standing in front of a monument you're trying to take a picture of, or there's some animal or bird hiding in a tree. You can remove the branches so you can see this animal's face better, or it'll remove power lines from some thing you're taking a picture of. It does a really good job of getting rid of distractions in photographs, and I use it quite a bit for that purpose. So,
Say it again. What is it? Keith?
Adobe Lightroom Classic or Photoshop,
Oh, okay.
both of them.
And they're not the only ones because Apple has it built in now. But I tell you, Adobe's on the cutting edge of that. But and I have that in my longer slideshow that I'll do on the first Saturday because I show how that works. Now, and then it becomes it's interesting because as a photographer, it's really easy if I take a shot and I have just beautiful blue skies. Well, everybody thinks beautiful blue skies. Beautiful blue skies are boring. And it's super easy in many of the photo programs to put in a fake sky. Now, the amazing thing in that is you can put in a fake sky and you can determine which angle you want the sun to be coming from. And then it will change the shadows and do all of that. It is absolutely amazing. Keith, is the one behind you a doctored picture or not?
No, that's a picture I took.
Good. A little bit highlighted on the colors, I can tell in the rainbow, but other than that, that's a real shot. Now,
Beautiful.
I personally will never put in a fake sky. It's the way I'm built. My friend Ken that I travel with, he'll do fake skies all the time, and that's fine. I just don't choose that. I will, though, take out power lines. I'll take out somebody on a beach or a car that's in the way because my ethic on it is, well, I saw it, yeah, I can take it out. But to add something that I didn't see, I just that's just me. But I'm not condemning anybody that does it. And then the worst part is now though, is I can tell it what I want my picture to be. I can say, give me three people on a beach with sunset and whatever, and then it'll make a picture. And what it does is it goes out and finds all the pictures that are out there and brings those into it, just like going and finding this search. So, I mean, and for photography, for instance, Topaz, it used to be if your photo was not really sharp or anything, they're using artificial intelligence now to interpolate what would be there and sharpen them up. And so I've been saying for quite a while now, don't, if you have out of focus photos or things like that, don't delete them. If they're a photo you like, it might be able to be fixed pretty soon. And it's amazing. And it's all about compute power. And like he said, it's really pretty amazing. All right, Chris and then Joan. Go ahead, Chris.
Question for either Keith or Ken. Keith, you mentioned like you could remove branches to see a bird's face better. Is AI then figuring out what the bird's face should look like? Or did you have the bird's face in there already and it just took away a few distractions?
I'm not sure I can answer that, but I think it just takes away the distractions in front of it. You can see most of the bird's face, for an example, but there's a branch that goes across part of his face. So you just remove that branch that is blocking part of your view.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And well, secondly, though, it has the capability, and okay, it goes out and searches. Let's say the bird is a stellar jay, let's say, or a barn owl, let's say. If you did a Google search for images of a barn owl, you could find images that look just like the same coloring of the barn owl you've got a picture of, okay? So what AI can do, if you remove the branch, it interprets what should be behind it. And if it's really good, it's taking other images of the barn owl and filling in what it should be. Now, eyes are always very difficult. The beak might be, but in general, it can do that. And that's what it does when you tell it to remove, like for instance, let's just say you've got 3 people up against a concrete retaining wall that's 4 feet high and there's grass above it. If you go in and remove a telephone pole or a parking sign that's right next to them, let's say it's concrete brick, the cinder blocks. Well, it will repeat that pattern. A good AI will repeat that pattern when you remove that sign to match what's on both sides of what you just removed. Now, if it's a random pattern and things like that, those aren't going to be perfect, but they're going to be better than it was. It's really easy when it's power lines because the sky is either gray, it's blue, or if it has clouds, the clouds have shape and it can mimic those shapes. So it's only in the beginning, and when you do it on Apple iPhone, which again, Apple Intelligence is not that great yet, but it is amazing what it will do to take stuff out of a photo. And and again, I'll show how that works when we do the first Saturday. So
Thank you.
you bet. Joan, go ahead.
Well, I found when I updated my phone, there's a program called Playground.
Yeah.
And I had a great time with that one. So maybe you'll show that on Saturday too. It's only on the phone, isn't it? Or is it?
I'm not sure because I haven't played with it much.
On
Oh,
an iPad also.
takes a picture and
Yeah, it's iOS only.
pardon?
Bob said it's on the iPad, so.
Oh, okay. Well, it takes a picture and makes it into a character. I
Yeah,
thought it was
a
really cool.
Memoji.
And I too have had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. Good. I'll look forward to you guys showing us that.
Sure.
Yeah.
No problem.
And again, and then you can do different things to it. You can tell it what you want it, like put a pencil in my hand or things like that.
Well, I don't know about that.
It's a great time to be alive. It's a little scary, but I look at it from the other way, like we talked about. Can you think about how much freedom, especially when I talk to this sight impaired group, that self-driving will do for people? And it's all about AI. And yeah, it's it's a bit scary, but I've been using some form of self-driving. It's been 10 years now. It was actually, well, this October it will have been 10 years, and I've done over 100,000 miles. And believe me, in the beginning, self-driving was not good. I'd be going down Highway 65 and the navigation is to get over to the freeway and stuff. And it just decided it might want to take the next exit. That wasn't part of my navigation. The worst thing in the world was by Thunder Valley Casino is like for us in Lincoln, it's the back way to get to the airport. And it's these farm roads that are up and down and up and down. And the car would crest a hill and it couldn't see the road. So you would think that, well, it would just keep going straight, right? No, it decides it just wants to turn right. And this is a little 2-lane road. And believe me, I always had my hands on the wheel and my foot near the brake and stuff. But I'll tell you, it is in in this amount of time, it's blows me away. So anyway, any other questions before we go to the raffle? Okay, let me write some numbers down here. Lisa or Mary, what are my numbers?
Okay.
Lisa's first.
Yeah, I'm first, if I can find my spreadsheet here. For the Zoom portion, we've got 34.
Great.
And 225 for the membership.
Fantastic. So, and that is verified members. And I checked Siri. Oh, don't say that, Ken. I checked our little voice thing before, and it seems to be fine, but always just I'll hesitate before you read off the person. I'll let you know if it's because I read it to make sure it got it right. So we have 4 $25 gift certificates, 2 $100 gift certificates. Those are all for members in attendance tonight. And then the last $100 gift certificate from Amazon will be for the entire membership. And you can win one from each category, but if you win 2 of them from the open one, you have to give one back. So, without further ado, we'll do the first 4 $25 gift cards. Give me a random number between 1 and 34.
That would be 15.
And that's good.
That's Jackie Tabor.
Congratulations, Jackie. Give me a random number between 1 and 34.
It's 4.
And that's good.
Barbara Moore.
Congratulations, Barbara.
Thank you.
Give me a random number between 1 and 34.
The answer is 7.
Annette did it right.
Carlos Miranda.
Hey, congratulations, Carlos. Give me a random number between 1 and 34.
The answer is 30.
And that one's good.
30 is Randy Hare.
Hey, Randy, congratulations. So those are the 4 $25 gift certificates. Now we'll do the 2 100s. Give me a random number between 1 and 34.
It's 30.
And that's good. Oh, we just did that, didn't we?
30 is yeah, that's Randy. I wonder which one he wants.
Randy, nope, speak up, Randy. We got to have it. Otherwise, you're keeping the 25.
You're muted, Randy.
You're muted, Randy. Okay, we're going to raffle off the one.
Yeah, I want to keep the 100.
All right, good call, Randy. All right, so we're going to raffle off the $25 one that Randy so graciously gave back.
What a surprise.
Give me a random number between 1 and 34.
It's 31.
God, thank goodness it wasn't 30.
Yeah. Ray Bulkey.
Hey, congratulations, Ray. All right, now we're back to the last of the 100s for the members in attendance.
Right.
Give me a random number between 1 and 34.
The answer is 19.
19, and that's a good one.
Joellen Arnold.
Congratulations, Joelle. Joellen, good thing we changed her name, huh?
Yeah.
All right, now it's on a different list, and it's the total membership, and the number will be different. So if it comes up 30, it won't be Randy. Or, well, that'd be weird if it was, actually.
Yeah, it's
Give me a
not.
random number between 1 and 225.
It's 164.
And that's a good one.
164 is John Thompson.
John Thompson.
Oh, no him.
Good job. So those will go out by email tonight. You'll get an email from Amazon if you won a gift card and it's not spam, and you can redeem it at Amazon. So great job, even on time. And does anybody have any questions at all? I'll hang around for a minute and I'll make sure you got chat. And if no, I'm going to end the recording. Hang on.